another cold weekend, and it's about time we started fixing these headlights, because everything else is already on the front of the car. But the problem is that every single tab on both headlights are smashed to bits. So luckily enough, as I said before in a previous video, Smart actually sell replacement tab kits, which is handy. Now, this one's the outlier because that one actually wasn't an issue on my car. That sort of bolts in the bottom of there and goes into the bottom of the headlight. Now the problem with that, I mean, it does clip in, that's fine, but then they're also supposed to screw in with 4 screws. And if I can just turn this over without throwing everything on the floor. 3 of my screw holes are actually destroyed, so I didn't think that one through. Whereas the other ones, for example, this one here, obviously that should have a bit that comes off there, but there's an unused screw hole there and one there. Now this replaces one of those. So you have to cut off some of this, and then that screws directly into there to replace that one. This goes on the side somewhere, like that. Not sure yet. And we've got this other one. It probably goes over here somewhere. Not sure. Again, I'm making it up as we go along. Yeah, so that's for that side. That's for that side. And then the central bar that runs across the centre with the light in it, that has got so many different. So it's going to be more like a jigsaw puzzle than anything else, because I haven't got anything really to work with because they're all smashed off. But there are clear places for things to be bolted on. With a little bit of thought, that should be fairly easy to fix, because see, this one is actually snapped all the way off. I'll probably have to, well, actually no, there's nothing wrong with that one, so I'll leave it on there. But if yours was broken, you literally just have to cut it off flush, so then they can all go on. When I do it, I'll take some proper photographs over and you can see exactly where each one of these goes. Assuming I get it right, of course. But yeah, so I'll be putting photographs on Evolution to show exactly where these go, assuming I get them right, of course. Right, I've been looking at the underside. I found there's an obvious one that's broken off there, and I believe that shaped one goes in like that. But again, I will need to cut off some of that plastic to make it seat down properly. It's good because it's got this little height thing there that should sit against that once you seat down properly. So I think all you need to do is just keep cutting it down and just keep trimming it until that seats down fully. You know, this ledge here will run on the inside of that, so it should be fairly obvious once that goes in. Right, this is the one that goes on the off side of the car. These tabs face outwards, which bolts in there. You've got the little tab that goes through the hole, so you know everything's lined up properly as well. And that'll bolt to the back of the headlight. And finally, on the outside, this is upside down, hang on, put you around the right way. This will be the outside edge of the headlight. Now if you look at that shape there, it's got 2 bolt holes there. That will go in there and there to replace that one. And that push into there and screw in from that side. Hence the screw capture thingy. Technical, huh? It's a good idea to sort of sneak up on it. You don't want to overdo it. Right, eventually I got it down to the same level as the things that have been screwed into, and this part isn't actually a standoff. It does go in like this, but it shouldn't stand off. Yeah, that actually clips over the top of it to keep it in position. So hang on, let me do that. Right, there we go. You see little tabs poking through there and there. They've seated right to the bottom, and this tab has gone over the top there to hold it in place. Even without the screws in, it's fairly rock solid, but obviously we'll put the screws in. Right, these are the screws. They are Phillips, not Posi, not like that. These ones don't really fit very well. So you need a fairly large Phillips screwdriver. We have one screw in there, one screw in there. Yeah, there you go, all nicely screwed in. That's now one replacement mount, nice and solid. On to the next. Okay, now we're going over to the side one. I mean, that's obvious where that one goes. And looking at the back of it, I would imagine you just have to cut all of that off. But again, I'm going to take a run up at it and fit it and try it, and then cut it and fit it and try it until it fits correctly. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to take this one down all the way level. At least up to about there anyway. Being careful, of course, not to chop the bit off you're about to screw into. Oh yeah, yeah. There you go, that screws in nicely there and there. Actually braces itself along the back as well. And these bits brace against that bit in there, so that's good. That means you don't have to bother about that bit in there. Is that right? That's good. There you go, screws added. Again, absolutely rock solid. The one that goes underneath, where I've got all the broken tabs, I'm considering, well, I'll use one screw in the place I can. But yeah, I'm seriously considering hot glue. Now, if I just rough up the both sides a little bit of hot glue, that will hold it in place. It does clip over very slightly in two places as well. Unfortunately, one of mine has snapped off, but it clips on there, also over that and over that. So yeah, a little bit of hot glue is not going to hurt. I do have Worth plastic glue, which I might consider instead. Let's see when I get to it. Okay, looking at this back one, where that lines up, it looks like I'm going to have to cut this down flat with this face. So again, being careful of the screw posts and the locating area. Because once that's cut away, part of that is still going to be there. And it looks like it's going to slot into that. Probably don't need to cut off all that side. I'll probably try and trim in there as well. It's going to be tricky to do and record, I'm afraid. Pins are poking through. As I thought, that bit there pokes onto that bit there. I'll give that a little clean up so it's still sitting a bit proud. Okay, I've knocked that back down so it's dead flat. It pushes on nicely. Again, just need to throw in two screws. There you go, screwed in. Again, rock solid. That's the three main ones put on. Just going to glue the the lower one in place. All right, it's the bottom of the headlight. Bottom of the headlight. It's the bottom clip. Place it in position. So the little square pops through there. There should be another one that comes through there as well. Mine snapped off. And then you simply push it down and it'll go up over these little tabs. And that'll lock that in place. Then you put in the screws. Unless, of course, all your screw holes are busted out like mine. Then we have to consider glue. Well, surprisingly, despite the fact that the stems had snapped off, I actually managed to get the screws to go through into the case. Probably not ideal, but obviously can't drive them too far in because they only go as far as the end of the bracket. But again, rock solid. I still might stick some glue in there though. Okay, that's both the headlights done. They're fine. And moving on to the centre light. This is the underneath of it. This has got quite a few clips that are all smashed off, but lucky enough I've been left with one. So that gives me a bit of a clue as to that one should go there. Now pay attention, elongated hole on the inside. So I don't need that one because that one is okay. On this side, smashed to bits. But thankfully, smashed to the point where it's actually not in the way. If you do need to cut this back, and that's the replacement. Again, look, elongated hole on the inside. That just goes and screws in like that. And we'll just throw some screws in. Hang on. Right, those ones are screwed in. Yeah, when you cut that one back, you don't have to be dead flush with it, because it offsets very slightly. So that matches that side. We've just got to try and guess where these ones go. Now we've got 4 there, again 4 there, 4 in the middle. We've got 2s and 2s, so the 2s should be dead easy. It'd be those ones. And the 2s should be nice and easy because we've only got 2 brackets there. We've got 2 holes in it. And the 4, 4 and 4, we've got ones here with 4. And if we look at these, those 2 are the same, and that one's different, so that one have to be for the centre. Which you've got to work out which of those go on that side, which go on that side. Again with these as well. I don't really even know which way around they go, to be honest. I imagine probably that way around. Who knows? I'll wheel in a bit, hang on. Well, they throw you a bit of a lifeline with the centre one, which goes on like that, because they actually staggered the holes. Those ones are close together than those ones. So let's go that way around, but you do have to, depending on where your old clipper's broken, you'll have to just cut that back a bit. Right, cut this one back. So that fits nicely on there. Doesn't interfere at the back there. Just need to screw it down. Right, once again, nicely screwed in. That's the centre bracket done. So we just need to work out these. Now these are tilted slightly, so that should give you a bit of an idea, but it's not immediately obvious, to be honest. Okay, with the bottom bracket facing upwards and that bracket smooth, I'm going to say that the smooth side of that bracket probably goes in there, and that does then line up with there and there, and it makes it dead flat between that and there. But you will have to cut out some of this to get that to fit. Okay, I've cut that line back so it follows it right across. Make a little bit of plastic there. Do it to that level, and then that screws in to be the same level as that. Right, screws the clock. Right, screws in, level. Last one to go, which is nice and easy because that's obviously the only one that we've got left. That one goes in there, and once you've cut that back, there you go, successfully saved probably £2,000 with 30 odd quid's worth of replacement brackets. And finally the two outside lower ones. If you put them on the wrong side, it's fairly obvious, because if you look at those, that is lower than that one there. So when you place it on, that will be dead flat, same as that one. This one, enough of the old bracket snapped off, but that fits on. On this side, however, got a little bit I need to take off, otherwise it's not going to fit on properly. When you trim this side one up, make sure that that bit is cut out as well, otherwise it interferes on the side of that one. There we go, that fits in nicely. Just got to screw it in with all the screws I can't find because I've lost them all, so I dropped them on the floor somewhere. Right, that's the light bar fully re-bracketed. The centre one that hangs down goes underneath. Now what we need to do is line that up with that up with that, and under here, that goes in the centre there. That lines up with, pay attention, that one there. That lines up with that one there. Make sure there. Okay, that's lined up. They seem to just sit on top. Might put some little self-tappers through it. That sits on there, and they are fine. So that's the final resting place for the central light. Right, I've been fairly successful today. Got the all the new brackets and stuff on. This is the one that was heavily damaged. It still rattles. It still works as far as I can tell. All the time I can possibly reuse this one I will, because they're 1,500 quid a go. So the big hole that was smashed into it has been covered up with some type of duct tape, like powerful self-amalgamating stuff. I'm not going to tighten all the way down. It's got to go in the side there. One's got to go in under here. Right, it took a bit of manipulation. That one's lined up. That one's lined up. Pegs in the hole. That one's lined up. Pegs in the hole, and that one will pull together once that's tightened up. Once that's in position, I'll tighten that one and the two behind there, and then that'll be all the lights fitted correctly. Right, that's all bolted in, solid, fairly solid, and solid. Now the easy part. Now I think the hard part is going to be there are clips and stuff where it obviously connects to something, so as long as I can match those up, I'll have a fair chance of working out where everything goes. I've got a sensor there, that's a start, and I know there was things in the middle, and that's for the light bar actually, so actually there's something else in the middle as well. Went to that. Oh, the front camera. And for the one person who actually bothered to wait until the end of the video, here are the part numbers if you want to pause.